nandito po tayo ngayon sa vlog. Ay, hindi pala vlog. Kundi, pet catchers. Ay, part, episode 5, part 2. Out of 3.
And I will admit that I did laugh out loud at the way they pronounce SpongeBob. SpongeBob! SpongeBob! I know, I'm a terrible person, but you laughed too, you know you did. Now this next video got 300,000 views in 5 days. And it's not really funny so much as it is a cool party trick. So this guy here, he's got this unfiltered cigarette, right? Then he takes a drag, right? Then he like busts out this crazy trick. Am I like the only idiot who was really entertained by that? I guess not. I mean, it did get over 300,000 views. But I can't help but think that that's one of those left-handed cigarettes you're smoking there, Snoop Dogg. No, the guy says it's an unfiltered rolled cigarette, and I believe him. And apparently the glass has to be chilled, like in the freezer. And only then can you pull off this cool trick. And did you notice that that kind of looks like a human soul if you were to trap it in a glass? Maybe that's where the gingers keep their souls. No, come on, I'm kidding. Gingers don't have souls. But that actually does look like a ghost or some shit, doesn't it? Oh, and you killed the ghost. No, but props to this guy for making a viral video out of just like a party trick. And if you really want to impress your friends and learn how to do the trick, then go watch the full video because he kind of shows how to do it. Not that I recommend smoking or eating at a Japanese McDonald's for that matter. But I'm just saying the instructions are there if you want. Actually, the video that got the least amount of views of anything that I reviewed this week is this putt-putt golf video. But it's probably the best, I think. See here, I guess this dude is playing mini golf, and I guess he got his ball trapped in the water here. Now, this only got 300,000 views in 3 days. It's only 30 seconds long, but it's one of those things that you could only capture on camera like once in a lifetime.
Oh my God! It's a ghost ball! Yeah. No!
Now the video is titled Greatest Putt-Putt Shot of All Time, and I'll be damned if that might be the greatest putt-putt shot of all time. No! Even though that ain't no regular golf ball. I mean, you heard that, dude. That's a ghost ball.
Ghost ball!
Yeah, a ghost ball. You know, it's like a regular ball, except that it haunts you in your sleep. I don't know. I'm not really sure where the guy was going with that. No, but the guy who sent the video to me claims to be one of the guys who was there, and that they were all clearly drunk off their ass. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that would totally explain the over-celebration that went on. Alright, calm down, gentlemen. It's just mini golf. I mean, it's not like you opened up your Happy Meal and found a SpongeBob toy. SpongeBob! Now, my friend suggested that this video is actually fake and that these guys are all blowing smoke. Haha, zing! No, I don't actually think it is. If I had to guess, I would say that they may have placed the ball in the fountain on top of the sprinkler before the camera was rolling. Either way, it's still a really cool video, and good job, gentlemen. Oh, and one more thing before I forget. SpongeBob! I know I'm terrible. Come on, you know you laughed again. You know you did. Shut up, you did. But you know what else pronounces SpongeBob funny? The comment. SpongeBob! The comment question of the day, which comes from a username. And she said,
Hey Ray, my comment question of the day is, what's the funniest name you've heard in your life?
So, what's the funniest name you've heard in your life? Leave your interesting or creative responses in the comments section below, or on Facebook or Twitter. But thanks for watching today's episode of Equals 3. I'm Ray William Johnson, and I approve this message. Oh, I almost forgot, guys. I'm actually starting a new YouTube channel. You can check it out here. Like, if you want to get in early, it's here. Bam. You can check it out. Bam. Where's it at? Bam. Right there. There's not really anything on the channel right now, but it's just chilling there, like just waiting, drinking a beer, waiting on you to get there. And it's gonna launch on Wednesday. But I'll see you guys in a few days. So tell me, guys, what's in Lady Gaga's pants?
Stalking your mom, 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 stalking your mom. I've been stalking your mom for like 2 years straight. I'm way too shy to ask her out on a date, so I just wait in your neighbor's lawn with my camera ready and my camouflage on. And I know that I'll get plenty pics when she leaves for work.
And it's not really funny so much it is... And it's not really funny so much as it, and it's not really, and it's not really, damn it, and it's not really funny so much as. I don't know why I can't say that line. F me, I'm sweating. And it's not really funny so much as it is, and it's
Sa McSaver's Mushroom Pepper Steak Meal, mabusugera 99 lang
Saucy ulam with fries and drink pa.
Daming choices sa McSaver's Sulit Busog Meals.
Mabusugera.
What's happening, guys? If you missed the last couple of episodes of Equals 3, we summed them up for you.
Previously on Equals 3.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, guys. Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what's up, guys? Real quick. So this first video was pretty huge. It got 2 million views in the past 2 weeks. And it's footage from this park in England. And I guess this guy's dog, Fenton, is getting out of control.
Fenton! Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, Jesus Christ! Fenton!
I love Fenton. Fenton is like the anti-Lassie. He's just causing shenanigans wherever he goes. If Fenton had his own show like Lassie, it'd probably be really entertaining. He's Fenton. Everyone knows it's Fenton. He's Fenton.
The deer had to die.
Now, one of my favorite things about this video is the escalation in the owner's voice when he calls out Fenton.
Fenton! Oh, Jesus Christ! Fenton!
Now, here at Equals 3, we were lucky enough to get Fenton here in the studio for an interview. Fenton. So, it looks like Fenton is busy and unavailable for comment. So, we've all been there. You meet a nice girl, you're chatting her up, you're having a good time, and then she says that one word that you don't want to hear. Boyfriend.
Thank you so much. You're such a gentleman.
Well, it has been said that I'm a gentleman, but never a gentleman.
I've got to get Scruffy back to my boyfriend and then...
You.
So this video is actually a few years old, and it's from a hilarious sketch program on the BBC called Snuffbox. It's a great title. And for some reason, people are always saying that British people are cowards. Oh, but not this guy.
I've got to get Scruffy back to my boyfriend and then...
And man, how come British people can say whatever they want and it still comes out classy? I mean, they call their cigarettes fags, and it sounds cool as hell.
The third Godfather is the finest film of the entire series.
Okay, yeah, you know, when you say it with that accent, I kind of believe you.
In some circumstances, slavery is perfectly acceptable.
All right, yeah, I mean, you make it sound so posh.
I do say the deer simply had to die.
Nice try, Fenton.
Everyone knows it's Fenton.
Now, the Snuffbox guys have some great videos. They do a series of clips like this where the dude hits on a girl and she's always got a boyfriend.
Exactly what my boyfriend was saying the other day.
You.
It's only a few streets away. I'm moving in with my boyfriend.
And if you could hand this one to my boyfriend.
You.
Man, that really upsets me. That crap always happens to me. Hey, what up, girl? I have a boyfriend. I may have overreacted there. Anyway, go show Snuffbox some love. Go put some loving on Snuffbox. That doesn't sound right, does it? So our last review is actually a channel, and now this channel specializes in how-to videos, which I don't think we've ever reviewed. So one particular video from this how-to channel is especially informative. It's called How to Drop a Sock on the Floor. That's it. No, seriously, that's the entire video. Three seconds. No, don't be concerned. This guy made a whole series of how-to videos. All right, here's one. How to take a shoe out of another shoe. How to put a water bottle on a hard drive. How to open a door with a toaster. I was so impressed with these videos, I thought I would make you guys a tutorial on how to talk to women. Hello. So there you go, how to talk to girls. So one last video I want to show you, and it's really important, how to get 100 billion views on YouTube. So here it is. Genius, right? Whoa, wait, I'm getting something. We may be able to get a statement from Fenton. Fenton, are you prepared to give us a statement? and he's still busy. So let's move on to the comment question of the day, which comes from username BAM. And they said,
What are you looking at?
so what are you looking at? Leave your interesting or creative responses in the comment section below. Or on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. But thanks for watching today's episode of Equals 3. I'm Ray William Johnson, and I approve this message. So tell me, guys, if you had a kid, what would you name it?
You.
Hello. Hello. Hi.
That was really upsetting.
One sound guy layoff.
Grammarly has become such a lifesaver for me when writing papers because it's essentially like...
Hey guys, I want to do something really fun this time. So I'm not going to do an episode. Fuck you and good night. No, I'm just kidding. So a few weeks ago, I was ragging on Vine videos, and then you started sending me a bunch, and I was like, damn, these are pretty funny. I should review these. The thing about Vine videos is that they're only 6 seconds, which, for those of you who don't know math, 6 seconds isn't very long. So this week, just for you, I'm going to review 5 videos. So we can't really measure views on Vine videos, but we can see how many people shared it on Twitter. So this video titled, How to Get a Cat to Swim, great title I might add, has 35,000 shares.
Oh, hey there, little girl. Don't want to go for a swim?
So this happens so fast, you have to slow down the footage to assure yourself he isn't chucking an actual house cat into that hotel pool. So first of all, I want to know the thought process behind this. The guy had to think of a video and then go out and buy a doll that looks roughly like his house cat. And did he get it all in one take, or did he mess up and have to go jump in the pool and get his doll out? I'm just saying, it's a lot of work for a 6-second video. I'm not saying it wasn't worth it, because it's funny as a motherfucker. And motherfuckers are pretty funny. I'm just saying, if this video had the right sound effects, I'd believe it was real.
Oh, hey there, little girl. Want to go for a swim?
So yeah, the video is good, it's funny, it's creative, but it's not my favorite of the bunch. So this one got about 1,000 shares. It's called The Woods, White People versus Black People.
White people be like,
Billy, where are you, Billy? Is that you?
black people be like,
Forget Billy, Billy's dead!
So this bit, which is hilarious, I might add, reminds me of every single black stand-up comedian from the 90s. Because when a white guy hears a noise in a horror movie, he's like, what's that noise? I'm gonna go into this dark basement and check it out. But when a brother hears a noise in a horror movie, he's like, yo, I think I'm robbing the wrong house. I kid. It's not Equals 3 without a little bit of racism. All right, let's look at the video again.
white people be like,
Billy, where are you, Billy? Is that you?
black people be like,
Forget Billy, Billy's dead!
Listen, the guy who made this video, comedian Chris, isn't wrong. White people are the absolute worst in horror movies. White people will move into a new house, find out it's haunted, and be like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. No need to call the authorities, I'm gonna handle it. I don't even own a house, but if I found out my apartment were haunted, I would move the fuck out at that very moment. Like, the ghost could keep all my shit and my deposit. Regardless, funny video, the guy has a really good point, but it's not my favorite. I don't even want to give you context to this next video, because you don't deserve it. No, because this video works better when it's abrupt.
Do you want to dance with me?
Go and yourself.
Why won't anyone dance with me?
Because I want to you.
That got 22,000 shares on Twitter, but it's pretty funny. First of all, and this is just a guess, but I don't think the guy wants to dance with you. I think he wants to fuck you. Mainly because that's exactly what he says in the video.
I want to you.
And by the way, this guy is probably the white guy in the horror movie who gets killed first. And another thing, by the looks of his surroundings, the guy on the bench is either homeless or he's my real dad. By the way, the dude who shot this has some balls. I mean, to go up to a seemingly homeless person and film this shit? Like, I'm afraid of homeless people. I'm a hobophobic, as they say. And why would you ask him to dance?
Why won't anyone dance with me?
My guess is, since he has a wheelchair right there, is that the guy probably can't walk. He probably doesn't do too much dancing these days. And I don't know if you noticed, but that dude's reaction in that last frame is hilarious.
I want to you.
Like, wow, this guy's homeless, disabled, and gay? Dude, tough life. And by the way, I don't know if I said it, it's a really great video, funny, still not my favorite. So this next one got 15,000 views on Face Twat, and it syncs Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal with a cat.
You've been hit by smooth.
No, look, he is like Michael Jackson. He's black and white. And by the way, rest in peace, Michael. I'm a big fan. So this video is all about the look on the cat's face. If you gave that cat a white fedora, the resemblance would be uncanny.
You've been hit by smooth.
And the synchronization is perfect too, like his little trot goes well with the double clap. Now that being said, I do suspect that the person who filmed this video faked it, like my girlfriend. Hey-o. That is, the guy is filming another video screen so as to perfectly sync the cat with the music. Either way, it's a great video, but it's not my favorite. So here's my absolute favorite. It got 16,000 shares on Instagram. So this video is called, Damn, Look at That! and it's not what you think.
Damn! Look at that, man! Move!
Oh my god, the way he eats that chicken. I mean, why is he perpetuating the stereotype that black people are really good at Vine videos? No, this video is great. I mean, it's simple, it's straightforward, and you're looking at it like, oh, look, he's clearly excited because that ass is having a seizure. No, he's excited because he's eating a piece of KFC off the floor. What's there not to be excited about? Funny thing, guys, I was literally watching this going, hey, I recognize that. No, not that ass. No, I recognize the guy eating the piece of chicken like a maniac. I'm like, hey, that's Day Storm's friend Andrew with the YouTube channel. And then I was like, oh, shit, ass, balls, cock, motherfucker, fuck. Now I gotta give Andrew a shout out because I really like his videos. Ain't that a bitch? So a big =3 shout out to Andrew. Why don't you go check out his videos and tell him that Ray said,
I want to you.
No, don't tell him that. Just tell him that Ray sent you. That's all. All right, that's the episode, guys. Now, sometimes I do microform videos like this, but not on Vine, because I still don't like Vine. I use Instagram's new video service or whatever it is. Instagram.com/RayWilliamJohnson. So go ahead and check me out on InstaTwat, and I will see you guys next week. I kid. It's not =3 without a little bit of racism.
Head came off.
Oh shit! His fucking head came off.
Please tell me you can see it.
Oh. What's happening, guys? If you missed the last couple of episodes. Hi, I don't believe we've been formally introduced. My name is Ray Johnson, and I'm an actor. And this is =3. It's a show I started 5 years ago from my college dorm room. And this is my last episode. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to adopt my performance persona so that you aren't as bored during this episode. So, why am I quitting? Well, I'm glad you asked, handsome stranger. Well, the short answer is I've been making internet videos as a hobby for a long time, and I feel like I've outgrown it. Like, I've written more jokes about viral videos than any one human should ever have to write. The long answer is, look, I've been fortunate enough to have had a lot of success in this medium. Like, this show =3 has a bigger viewership than 99% of the shows on cable television. Even to this day, it's still very popular. Your Favorite Martian, my music project, was like the top music channel on YouTube, and it sold 1.2 million units on iTunes. 1.2 million, with no record label, no advertising budget, no radio play. That was just me and word of mouth. Riley Rewind, our web series, got like 10 million views on Facebook before it even hit YouTube. And Variety said it was like one of the top web series of the year or something like that. My podcast, Runaway Thoughts, is like in the top 10% of all podcasts or something ridiculous. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this to illustrate that I feel like I've done everything cool that there is to do in this medium, and I've had a ton of success, and it no longer feels gratifying. Yeah, I know, it makes me sound like a spoiled bitch, and I'm gonna be really candid here and say this. I'm the kind of person who has to keep moving forward and has to keep being creative, or I get depressed. I'm just being 100% honest here. Like, this show isn't fulfilling me creatively anymore, and I have to move on. I mean, really, the only satisfaction I get from doing this these days is that I get to entertain and interact with you, which, by the way, has been an incredible experience. I feel so grateful that you even give a shit enough to watch this. Like, I feel like some sort of pageant queen in all this. Like, I can't believe you chose me. So where do we go from here? Well, first of all, remember, I'm retiring as host of =3. I'm not retiring from life. I'll still be around. Like, if you'll notice, I'm doing a lot more acting these days. And if you'll recall, I sold a television show last year.
Kapag may lakas, may kabutihan.
What's up, y'all? My name's Romney Malco. You probably too young to know me, but your mama know me. Yeah, I fucked her. =3, bitch.
Thanks, Romney. In the first video, a dad films his kids as they're waiting to hear.
Hey guys, what's up?
up? I'm Jenna Marbles. I'm so excited that Equals 3 is back on the air. I want to introduce...
Hey guys, before we get to the videos, I'd just like to say a couple of words in honor.
And it may or may not eventually go to air. That's kind of the way television works. I also wrote a graphic novel that actually got published and should be out this summer. I'm also thinking about doing some live show stuff. Like, I got tons of stuff going on. And yeah, there may even be some new YouTube projects in the near future. Who knows? The point is, I'm retiring from Equals 3. I'm not dying. Now, what's gonna happen to Equals 3, the brand, the show? Well, I'll get to that. First, I'm going to talk about some videos. Now, I've chosen 10 viral videos that I have reviewed over the last few years, and these really stood out to me in one way or another. Maybe they were funny, maybe they were interesting. Either way, I want you to watch these, and I want you to pay attention to how much not only the show has changed over the last 5 years, but how much I've evolved as a person. We all hate trolls, and I actually have a good time making fun of them, but I have even more fun watching someone react when trolls have pissed them off, like this guy.
You know you 13, 14, and 15-year-old fucking little kids who are telling me I need to fucking lose weight, and fucking tell me I'm a fucking idiot on my fucking videos. Fuck you!
Alright, don't call this guy fat. He's obviously a bit worked up over it.
I'm getting these comments. Fat! Gay! Idiot! Dumbass! What the fuck?
You know, with all these viral videos of people getting hurt, I was really glad when I came across this one called How to Kiss a Woman by Captain Kirk.
I wouldn't like that at all.
And look, Captain Kirk really shows you how to handle women. Oh, fuck, did he seriously just punch that alien chick in the face? Damn, that's hardcore. He was all like, yo, Lady Gaga, what did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap! Not cool, Captain Kirk. Now, I can't believe that this video went so viral this week. Now, the video is actually a small clip from that show, Intervention. Now, whoever posted it titled it Best Cry Ever. And I'll be damned if it isn't the best cry ever.
Somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
But the guy is getting his life together. Shouldn't we be happy for it? But no, you guys gotta go and auto-tune the damn video.
I still love you.
You guys have a fucked up sense of humor, that's all I'm saying. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. This next video is terrifying. I'm serious. Now, it's based on an old Olsen twins music video about pizza.
Give me pizza! P-I-Z-Z-A! Give me pizza!
About a week ago, somebody took that footage and slowed it down.
P-I-C-C-A! Give me pizza! Did I happen to say?
No, keep watching. These kids get fucking creepy.
I want pizza! Hey! Are you ready to play? Now set down the pizza and bring some chicken, throw it on top, and make the finger lick it. Guacamole, meatball, whipped cream pouring like waterfalls.
Did you see that? Seriously, guys, the internet was invented for that one moment when that androgynous kid goes,
whipped cream pouring like waterfalls.
So this first video is a pretty accurate portrayal of what happens when mom goes out and dad is left to babysit. That's horrible. And why does that kid have a bag over his head? What is he, my date? And how come the dad doesn't even try to stop him when he's running? He just like sits there and keeps the camera rolling. And you know, I have a feeling that as soon as the camera was off, the dad was like, come on, kid. If you're old enough to walk, you're old enough to walk it off. This next video comes from Japan, and supposedly it's like a weird commercial for McDonald's. And this is like the creepiest McDonald's ad you will ever see. Like, I swear to God, Stephen King must have written it. What the f? Damn, Ronald McDonald! Why you gotta be so creepy? I mean, we all knew that Grimace gave off like weird child molester vibes, but now that Ronald McRapist is hiding under your bed, snatching your McNuggets up, I mean, look at him. He really wants to touch you in your play place. I mean, remember the ball pit at McDonald's? Well, you can't just show up and like play with his balls all day and not expect him to follow you home. Yeah, I'm gonna put my McNuggets in your pretty mouth. Oh, come on, Ronald McDonald. Don't be creeping on people. Don't make me get Mayor McCheese. Our second video is only 11 seconds long. It's actually the last line from an early 90s movie called Second Glance. So the lead character's name is Dan, and his one line is pretty emotional.
Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man.
That's it. 11 seconds. You know, I could have played that role. Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man. You know, I kind of love this video. It reminds me of those crappy after-school specials that I used to watch in the 90s that would tell me not to do drugs, but which ultimately led me to doing drugs.
Jesus, man.
And not only is the line awesome, but it's so vague that you could just change the emphasis and it could mean whatever you want. Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man! So after this brilliant line, the movie's over. But I can't help but wonder how Scotty would have replied.
Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man.
Oh, come on, I'm Jewish, you asshole. Stop rubbing it in. And my name's not even Scotty. You're gonna love this. This is really popular right now. 4 million views. So there's this guy here, and I think he's German, and he's almost butt naked out in the freezing cold, and he's about to jump into this pool of cold ass water. Now, I normally censor out the curse words because I don't want the show to get like too dirty, but I'm not going to this time because I want you to hear when he says, motherfucker, fuck the fucking cold, and my new band is called Siskel or Siskel or something like that.
Motherfucker, fuck the fucking world, and my new band is called Siskel.
Do you just not like check the water, like put a toe in or something? Like, oh, it's freezing ice. I mean, this guy's lucky he didn't hurt himself. He's lucky he didn't break his coccyx. So this first video is blowing up this week. It stars this woman who apparently skinned a Muppet to get this fur coat.
Through 122nd, so I had to go around 119th and go, they let me look at the lawyer's building. I know the vacuum cleaner man. He's seen my tits.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
I know the vacuum cleaner man. He's seen my tits.
Yeah, that's great, ma'am, but can you give us a description of the suspect? What the hell is a vacuum cleaner man anyway? Let's see, there's a mailman, a milkman, a policeman. There's no such thing as a vacuum cleaner man. That's just something some stranger said so he could see your tits. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm the vacuum cleaner man. I'm here to inspect your tits. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to make a quick yet tough decision? Like this guy? So in this video, there is a raccoon attacking this guy's dog. Now watch how he reacts. Now when I saw this video, I didn't want to laugh, but I'm not gonna lie. I laughed so hard I pooped a little. I mean, he fucking powerbombed that little bastard. You know, honestly, I think Rose did the right thing. Raccoons can spread rabies and rumors, which can also be hurtful. Look, I'm just saying, I'm not into cruelty to animals, but if a raccoon would have attacked one of my pets, I probably would have been a lot meaner. And you know what else, guys? In Florida, this raccoon could have legally shot and killed the guy. And look, I don't want to hear it from all you animal activists who are like, you could have just shooed the raccoon away. Shoo, Mr. Raccoon, shoo. I'm just saying, save your comments. Don't leave comments like, well, this is cruelty, you know, the raccoon doesn't know right from wrong. What if he was a mentally ill child? Well, then I'll throw that fucking kid down a flight of stairs. Yeah, see that? And as you can see, I don't look nearly as sexy without the beard. Now, before we get into the future of Equals 3, let me give a quick shout out to every celebrity who's ever volunteered to be on the show. Now remember, I started the show from my college dorm room, so it was really cool to me to eventually be able to get like mainstream celebrities on. Like I had Robin Williams on the show, we had Sarah Silverman, Zac Efron, both Jay and Silent Bob, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith. We had Jason Biggs, we had Ed Helms, Gabriel Iglesias was on many times. We had RZA of the Wu-Tang Clan. We had Nick Kroll, Danny DeVito, both Key and Peele. We had Kristen Bell, Veronica Mars. We had TJ Miller, Bobby Lee, Andy Milonakis, Margaret Cho. We had Garfunkel and Oates, Paul Scheer. We had Kal Penn and John Cho, so Harold and Kumar. We had Romney Malco. And Snoop Dogg wasn't on the show, but he did stop by the studio one day to say what's up. Yeah, and for the record, I'm a normal-sized human. Snoop is just a really tall guy. Now, I'm sure there are more celebrities than what I just named, but I had to go through like 5 years of material to find that list. So forgive me if I left anyone out. I also want to take a moment to thank anyone who's ever helped me behind the scenes or just helped me with the show in any way at all. So thank you to those people, and again, I had to go through 5 years of material to find all those names, so if I accidentally left your name out and you helped with the show, my sincerest apologies. Okay, so let's get to it. So what is the fate of Equals 3, the show? Well, originally I wanted to retire the show completely. It's actually still what I want, but I've gotten so much pushback from you guys and people around me that I'm gonna try to keep the show going. But here's the dildo. In order to do that, I'm gonna have to hire a new host, which means that I'm gonna have to shut the show down completely for about a month or two while I cast this new host. I just want it to be someone who's really good, someone who you guys will really like and connect with, and ideally someone who hosts the show better than me. Oh, anyone can host it better than you. Shut up. So what do you think? You think you could be the host? You think you got it what it takes? So to recap, I will not be hosting Equals 3 from now on. I will need to take a month or two off so that I can cast a new host for you guys. I also have to restructure some things because if you remember, I'm also a writer and producer on the show, and I gotta find people who can also do those jobs. So there, guys, give me 2 months max and you'll have your show back with a new host. It might fail without me, it might do incredible. I don't know. I just fucking work here. Not anymore. Now, if it doesn't work, if we get a new host and you guys hate it, we're not gonna keep like recasting it. We'll just shut it down and we'll move on and we'll forget it never happened. So yeah, I'll give it a shot for you because I feel like you've always been there for me. Like when I do a project and I ask you to go check it out, you always do. And you know, for that, I am very grateful. And so, I don't know, we're gonna do it. We're gonna try it out. So that's it, guys. Thanks for 5 wonderful years. I look forward to the future. I really do. I'm Ray William Johnson and I approve this message. All right, let's get this started. Check this out. This got 8 million views this week. It's a big video. This is a farm somewhere in France, and there are these goats playing on a flexible steel ribbon. Wow, pretty adorable. Can you believe that got 8 million views in a week? This video got 8 million views because marijuana. So the music in there was ours. We had to add some music because the video has no sound. So let me add some more sound for you. Meh. You know, I actually thought that ribbon was gonna break and like the goats were gonna get slingshotted across the farm, but alas, no. See, but when you think about it, like it seems dumb to us, but to a goat, they're like, this is the best fucking invention in the world. This is gonna revolutionize everything. We must make more of these. And like I said, this video was shot on a farm in France somewhere, so shout out to all my French viewers if you're out there. I don't give a fuck about your video, you whore. You guys watch that show Cops? You guys ever been on that show Cops? Probably. If you're familiar, Cops is a pretty good show where they follow policemen around documentary style, and yes, it's still on. It's on its 26th season. So this is a clip that went viral. It's from the show Cops. It's about 2 years old, and it's called, I'm gonna get you, bitch.
Sit down on the curb. I'm not gonna tell you again. Sit down on the curb.
And what are you doing? Don't be grabbing on me.
I just asked You're gonna get tased if you don't sit down.
I ain't getting that to you. I'll get you, bitch.
Wow, that taser didn't even faze him. He's immortal. He's the Highlander. He didn't even drop his cigarette. By the way, when a man who was just hit with a taser turns to you and says, "I'm gonna get you, bitch," he's gonna get you. And why in the hell was the cop arresting him anyway? They didn't even show us that part. Excuse me, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop being black. See, my guess is he was assaulting or doing something to this woman, and that's why the police were called, and that's why the officer used force. And by the way, what if this isn't an episode of Cops? What if it's just a modern remake of 12 Years a Slave? But you know, the taser did seem a little unnecessary, but I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, okay? Minding my own business. Now, I've been an admirer of this for a really long time. It's kind of old, but I haven't gotten a chance to review it until now. Now, this is supposedly an old corporate sex. It's kind of old, but I mind my own business. Now, I've been an admirer of this for a really long time. It's kind of old, but I haven't gotten a chance to review it until now. Now, this is supposedly an old corporate sexual harassment training video.
So, what is sexual harassment?
Linda, you are doing a fine job here.
Oh, well, thank you, Steve.
But you know, you might try dressing a little sexier at work.
I'm sorry?
I mean, we're talking about your job here.
Yeah, we've all sat through corny videos like these. It's pretty standard sexual harassment training stuff. But then later on, the come-ons get a little ridiculous.
Word around the office is you've got a fat cock. Yes, I do. I've got a fat cock, too. Maybe we should rub our fat cocks together sometime.
I could go for a power fuck right now.
It smells like vagina in here.
Excuse me?
It smells like fresh vagina in here.
Are you talking about my vagina?
Wow, I don't know where these people are working, but I've never had a coworker say to me,
Word around the office is you've got a fat cock.
Well, that's not entirely true. Your mother and I used to work together. See, what I don't get and what drives me nuts about sexual harassment training is where do you draw the line? Can I shake her hand? Can I fist her? How do you think Anna and I met? I'm just saying, if I can send a coworker an email, why can't I also send her a bag of pubes? I mean, I own my own company, and I'll be damned if I don't walk into a room at least once a day and say,
It smells like vagina in here.
And by the way, if a coworker ever approached me and said,
Word around the office is you've got a fat cock,
I'd be like, you heard right. How do you think I got this job? My resume is written on the side of it. Anyway, obviously this video isn't real. It's a sketch written by a very talented, very funny guy named T. Spears. Make sure you go and check out the original. It's great. Yeah, and if you really want to pick up a woman at work, just use my favorite pickup line.
I'll get you, bitch.
All right, guys, that's all I got for this week. Don't forget to watch the full videos. Links are down below in the description. I'm Ray William Johnson, and I approve this message. Hi, for those of you who are new, welcome to today's episode of Equals 3. I'm Gay William Johnson. Isn't that hilarious?
Every day replace just one meal with Century Tuna. Best view ever. Let's go.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jenna Marbles. I'm so excited that Equals 3 is back on the air. I want to introduce you to your new, adorable, beautiful host, Robbie Motz.
Thanks, Jenna. I'm Robbie Motz, and you don't know me yet. I've done some theater and some improv, but I'm just a guy who auditioned. I auditioned, and apparently Ray liked me the best out of like 1,000 people, so I get to do this, which is incredible. I get to entertain you guys. And I gotta say, I'm nervous. I'm gonna compare my...
Oh, it's you. Hey. So check this out. This is great. This is a very enthusiastic Taiwanese baseball announcer calling a home run.
我有几个球真的打得不错。这个球飞到了现在左外野方向。This ball is long gone, just like the ex-girlfriend who will never return. Home run!
Now, this got 500,000 views in a few months, and like I said, this is a sports announcer from Taiwan who apparently says funny stuff like this all the time. You know, I'm curious. I want to hear how he does other calls. Foul! Like your bitch whore mother who never shower. Walk! Like your broke father who has to walk to work because he can't afford car. Single! Like your fat sister, she's single because nobody date her because she smell. You know, as much as I joke, props to the guy for trying to make the game just a little bit more interesting. I have a serious question though. Does everyone from Taiwan have a tattoo that says, "Made in Taiwan"? Now, I know you're gonna feel like an asshole for laughing at this, but it's okay. Just embrace it. Just lie there and embrace it. Now, 1.2 million views. Here's what Panic on the Road sounds like.
What the hell are you doing? No! No! No!
Oh, it's such a close collision that could have ended tragically, but didn't. You know, I think it's obvious to say all the comedy lies in the guy's scream.
No!
All right, enough making fun of the guy. Let's break it down real quick. So I guess this semi-truck here decided to pass the snowplow here going uphill around the curve. Yes, that's the perfect time to pass someone. The pickup truck driver tried to slow down, but had to veer to the right and scrape against the guardrail in order to avoid a head-on collision with the semi. You know, I don't blame the guy. That would have scared the piss out of me. I scream like a woman whenever I'm in a grocery store parking lot and a shopping cart almost hits my car. I'm like, no! So according to the guy, the semi-truck driver just left the scene of the accident, so the guy posted the video online hoping that maybe somebody would identify the truck driver. Did you check Craigslist misconnections? Have you ever wanted to see a butt-naked man running barefoot down the street trying to punch cars? Yes! So this appears to be a real-life Grand Theft Auto assailant who is inexplicably in the middle of the street just throwing haymakers at cars.
That was a scary motherfucker right there. That was a scary motherfucker.
Then, of course, much to everyone's sense of justice, things go wrong. You know, it's kind of obvious to draw a GTA comparison, because he does kind of look like that Trevor character, doesn't he? This must be the GTA Bath Salts expansion pack. So what happened to the real-life Trevor? Well, same thing that happens when you play GTA. You know, I understand the urge to imitate video games, but it doesn't always work out. You know, sometimes I play real-life Mario Brothers where I take mushrooms and slide in the sewer and stomp on turtles and shit, maybe rescue a princess, and maybe she'll let me see half a boobie. You know, I just wish the Taiwanese announcer were here for this. Foul! You strike out! You will have no ex-girlfriend! You will go to jail and you will be girlfriend! You will be prison, bitch! Alright guys, that's all the time I got today. Thank you for putting up with my racist, sort of general Asian accent. Don't forget to check out the full videos. Links are down below in the description. I'll see you later in the week on the podcast. I'm Ray William Johnson, and I approve this message. Hi, I don't believe we've been formally introduced. My name is Ray Johnson, and I'm an actor.
Pag mom ka, you want to give 100% nourishment. Kaya with Lactum 3 Plus.
Who can stop this constipated drop with the awful animation and the complicated plot? Who's got the rap bomb to drop on Japan? This looks like a job for the OG. Superman! I'm killing it, you're grilling it. I'm villainous to vegetables who dance around in hammer pants and hide their tiny genitals. My level is incredible. I'm out of your league. You want justice? I'll bust this nut up in your cheesy. Greasy, sick MC from DC. One breath I'll freeze your whole measly species. You're primitive and limited. You live in a village of idiots. Step in Metropolis or step a carrot period. How many times are they gonna rewrite your story? Your powers have been boring since the 1940s. Defeat me with heat beams, you're crazy. Cause I'm a Super Saiyan, you're a flying Miss Daisy. You're pretty. How many times are they gonna rewrite your story? Your powers have been boring since the 1940s. Defeat me with heat beams, you're crazy. Cause I'm a Super Saiyan, you're a flying Miss Daisy. You're pretty pasty to be powered by the sun. You can't float to Son Goku, I can't get it done. When I see your movies, all I do is watch the clock. Cause there's nothing fun about a superhero scared of green rocks. Look at those panties, you got that camel. I'm bored to Lois Lane and Superman. Your rapping is weaker than your fight scene. Just one punch, and overnight, now that's great. I'll make your nose bleed like Roshi, Stiff and Petty. From Z to GT, you can Dragon Ball D. Don't lecture me about fights, you cave coward. You got your ass beat by a bat with no powers. There's only one way that this battle's gonna end. One more Superman who's never gonna walk again.
frustrating. This hardcore
Glutathione, gamot para sa atay na nakakapagpaputi rin. Meron na rin yung isiniswero at yung ini-inject na siya di manong ikinamatay ng isang ina. Katulad ng maraming Pilipina, ang manager sa restaurant na si Shirel, hilig din daw magpaputi.
Gusto niya pag umaharap siya sa customer, maganda siya. Tuwing nakakita siya ng artista, yan, gusto ko yung ganyang puti. Tagal namin sa banyo. Mag-aano kami ng kalamansi, tapos mag-i-scruban kami. May iniinom rin siya na supplement, like vitamin E, para mag-glow yung skin niya. Tapos may pinapahay din siya.
Hanggang naengganyo si Shirel na magpaturok ng glutathione. Pero marami ang nagimbal. Nito lang nakaraang linggo nung nabalita si Shirel na namatay. Matapos di mano siyang maturukan ng glutathione sa isang spa clinic sa Sampaloc, Manila. Nito lang Martes, inilibing na si Shirel. Pero ano ba talaga ang nangyari sa kanya? Isang araw matapos malibing si Shirel, narito tayo sa kanilang lugar dito sa Sampaloc sa Maynila. Kamustahin natin yung kanyang mga naulila. Magandang hapon po. Ako si Jessica, ikaw si Joseph. Ikaw yung husband, ikaw yung asawa ni Shirel. Kamusta ka na?
Kailangan lang po talaga maging matatag.
Nakikiramay kami ha. Naulila ni Shirel ang 3 nilang anak ni Joseph, kabilang na ang kanilang bunsong kambal, 2 taong gulang pa lang. Yung mga anak ninyo, kamusta?
We're trying our best yun po maging matatag po talaga sa lahat ng oras na ngayon.
Ang glutathione, karagdagang treatment sa chemotherapy laban sa cancer. Pero may side effect ito na nakapagpapaputi ng balat. Hanggang nadiskubre na nga ito ng maraming nangangarap pumuti. Nasamahan pa nga raw ni Joseph minsan si Shirel na magpaturok ng glutathione.
Pinakaunang beses po nung nasamahan ko po siya, wala naman po talagang reaksyon.
Hanggang nadiskubre raw ni Shirel na meron palang spa clinic na malapit sa kanila na nag-aalok din ng injectable glutathione.
Ang nakuha niyang package is yung 5,000 pesos na gluta shots. Tapos may kasama pa siyang RF, which is yung parang pagpapapayat na mukha, tas meso.
Sa unang pagpapaturok pa lang daw niya sa spa clinic na yon, meron nang nangyari.
First attempt niya po na maturukan siya, may nararamdaman siya na paninikip ng dibdib. Mayroon pong huminga.
Ito yung pangalawa?
Para siyang imatay na nagpasalamat siya na parang binigyan siya ng pangalawang buhay.
Nakwento niya sa'yo yon. Pero bumalik pa rin si Shirel sa parehong spa clinic para magpa-inject ulit. At ayon sa investigasyon ng pulis, sa pangalawang beses niyang magpaturok ng glutathione, ilang minuto lang ang nakararaan. Bigla na lang itong nawalan ng malay. Hanggang dinala na siya sa ospital.
Pagdating mismo sa loob ng ER, wala daw mga vital signs. Nirevive daw nila ng 20 minutes.
Alas 3 ng hapon nung nagpaturok daw si Shirel. Bandang alas 11 ng gabi, patay na siya.
Sir, siya lang ang aking pag-asa. Na ako'y nung buhay ginagdagan sa kanyang mga anak, natutuwa ako.
Assistant cook sa isang cruise ship si Joseph. Kasalukuyan nga raw silang naglalayag sa Amerika nung nabalitaan niya ang nangyari sa kanyang misis. Sa punerarya na niya naabutan si Shirel. Ano nilista ng ospital na cause of death?
Initial findings po is cardiac arrest.
Kung baga, Joseph, blanco ka pa rin.
May mga tumatakbo din po sa isip ko na parang may mga galit. Though di ko pa po alam yung result na parang may namumuo ng resulta para sa akin.
Matapos pumutok ang balita sa nangyari kay Shirel, may nag-message sa amin na siya rin daw nalagay sa bingit ang kanyang buhay matapos din niyang maturukan ng glutathione sa parehong spa clinic kung saan din nagpaturok si Shirel.
What is up guys?
Siya ang vlogger na si Daniel.
Ginagamit ko lang po sabon lang po na pampaputi. Tapos nagpapa-facial po ako dati. Tapos nagpa-bleach din po ako dati. Tapos nag-try din po ako uminom ng gluta na tablet. Okay naman sa akin yung gamot. Pumuti naman po ako talaga dun sa tablet. Ang naalala ko po dati na nag-try din po ako mag-lotion. Mga 3 beses ako sa isang araw maghilamos.
Hanggang naengganyo rin daw siya sa nakita niyang advertisement tungkol sa Gluta Spa Clinic sa Facebook.
Sa halagang 5,000 pesos po, 10 sessions na siya. Tapos may mga additional services pa po. Gaya ng mga facial.
At nito lang din February 1, nagpaturok daw si Daniel ng glutathione.
Yung itsura po nung clinic nila, parang bahay po eh. Pagdating ko po doon, kinausap ako ng nurse, tapos pinaupo ako. Ang sabi niya po sa akin, Sir, that po kasi diba 10 session po. Sabi niya, doblehin na lang po natin yung dosage. Para 5 session na lang po kayo, hindi na rin po kayo magpabalik-balik. Eh syempre ako naman po, wala naman po akong alam. Sabi ko, sige po, ma'am, okay lang po.
Pero sa unang turok pa lang daw,
nasaktan po ako. Sabi ko, ganito pala kasakit to, sobra. Masakit pa sa tinatatuan ka, umiiling-iling po ako. Tapos sabi ng nurse sa akin, hindi, normal lang yan kuya. Yung ugat ko nga po nun, lumulobo. Nahilo ako, tapos sumakit yung tiyan ko, tapos nasusuka po ako, tapos sumakit po yung ulo ko. Pagkatanggal po niya, tumayo po ako. Pagkatayo ko, nagdidilim na yung mata ko nun. Tapos pumunta ako CR. Doon na po nagsimula na parang yung katawan ko naging lantang gulay. Kaya bumagsak po ako. Tapos may tama nga po rito ako. Kinakatok na po nila ng sobrang lakas. Hindi na po ako sumasagot dahil di ko na po talaga kaya eh. Tapos doon na po nila sinimulan na sirain yung pintuan. Pagpasok po nila, nabuksan na yung pintuan, binuhos-buhusan po ako ng tubig. Paglabas ko po, inup po nila ako. Pinainom po nila akong tubig, pinakain ng chocolate. Minamassage po nila yung paa ko, yung kamay ko, pati yung balikat ko. Gustong-gusto ko na matulog. Pinipigilan ko lang po. Baka pag natulog po ako, hindi na po ako magising eh.
At katulad ni Shirel, isinugod din si Daniel sa ospital.
Naisip ko na po na baka mamamatay na po ako. Sa buong buhay ko po ngayon ko lang po naranasan yun eh. Sobrang natakot po ako nun kasi ang hirap po nung pakiramdam niya eh. Hindi ko po makaalis sa utak ko yung pag naalala ko yung nangyari. Naiiyak po talaga ako kasi kala ko po talaga yung huling araw ko na yun. Kaya sabi ko hindi na po ako ulit magpaturok ng ganun kasi sobrang natakot po ako.
Balak ngayong magsampa ng kaso ni Daniel.
Joseph, nabalitaan niyo ba na may isa pa palang case katulad na nangyari kay Shirel?
Recently, ma'am. Isa rin po yun sa maging matibay na proof kung talagang may nagawa silang mali.
Sinubukan naming kunan ng pahayag ang spa clinic pero tumanggi sila. Kapansin-pansin na sa kanilang gate meron ng karatulang nakalagay na no gluta service. Naglabas na rin sila ng statement sa kanilang Facebook account. Hindi raw muna sila magsasalita o magbibigay ng anumang pahayag hanggat hindi pa natatapos ang investigasyon.
Isinagawa na ang autopsy examination at toxicology examination at hinihintay natin ang resulta para malaman kung ano yung nag-trigger o naging sanhi ng heart attack ng ating biktima. Updated yung business permit nila. Nangihingi lang tayo ng inspection report para malaman natin ano ba yung scope ng permit na yun. Inaalaw ba sila ng permit na yun na mag-inject ng kung anumang gamot sa katawan ng mga tao. Pinag-aaralan natin ang kasong reckless imprudence resulting in homicide. Once mapatunayan natin na ang gamot na ginamit at yung nurse na nag-inject ay hindi pala allowed.
Joseph, may gusto ka pang sabihin? Nung nabalita ito, syempre may mga judgmental talaga tayong mga kababayan, lalo na sa social media. Ang daming mga komentarista at may mga opinion.
May nabasa ako na bakit di pa daw na kontento. Doon pa ako nasasaktan. Kaya nung may lumabas na naman na isang na true liver enlargement, kaya nag-fail po yung body niya na So parang lumalabas na alcoholic yung wife ko, na hindi ko rin matanggap. Na sinabi naman niya na nirepost niya lang yun. Nanahimik kami. Kami nga nagre-relay din kami sa magiging autopsy result niya. Respeto na lang din sa wife ko. Huwag naman sanang husgahan talaga.
Sa ngayon, sinusuri na ng Food and Drug Administration ang ginamit na glutathione kay Shirel.
Pag meron po kaming patunayan po na mali talaga ang spa na ito at nagbebenta po sila ng ganito na hindi po sila butika, papatawan po namin sila ng 50,000 to 500,000 po na penalty.
Paalala rin ng FDA ang pagpapaturok o pag-i-inject ng kahit na anong IV o suwero. Dapat sa ospital at sa mga lisensyadong medical facility lang ginagawa.
Ang mga gamot po na ito ay mga dapat inire-reseta po ng ating doktor. Usually po dito sa mga gluta clinics na ito ay wala pong doktor na nagmo-monitor sa kanila. Kaya nakakatakot po talaga. Ang mga gluta drips po ay para sa may cancer lamang at hindi po ito pampaputi. Maghunos dili na po tayo po nagbebenta o meron po tayong ganito mga activities na nag-engage po tayo sa gluta drip. Pinagbabawal po ng FDA na kayo ay gumamit ng mga ganitong produkto. Kung hindi po kayo otorisado ng DOH or FDA na gumawa nito, kayo po ay mahuhuli.
Paalala rin ng isang dermatologist, bago magpaturok ng kahit na anong mga produkto sa inyong katawan, kailangan muna ng skin test para matiyak kung kayo'y allergic o hindi.
Is the health facility license? Ready ba sila to manage the problems or the effects right away? For example, biglang nagkaroon ng erratic blood pressure yung patient, biglang nag-increase yung blood pressure, biglang nag-seizure, biglang nag-loss of consciousness. Is there an expert there, licensed nurse, licensed physician, who would, manage the patient? Kung talagang gusto mo lang naman din ng whitening, you should consult your board-certified dermatologist by the Philippine Dermatological Society.
Once kasi na tumataas naman yung overdosing nga ng gamot dun sa sistema natin, syempre, magkakaroon ng reaction ito, lalo na dun sa kidneys natin, sa liver natin, kasi usually dyan na may metabolize yung mga ganyang gamot.
Ang autopsy report naman na isinagawa kay Shirel, inaasahang lalabas sa susunod pang linggo.
Hindi naman yata tama na maalala lang si Shirel dahil sa nangyari sa kanya, di ba? Pwede bang pa-share sa amin anong klaseng asawa, anong klaseng nanay si Shirel?
Napakagaling na asawa po. Pagmahal, syempre. Pero talagang siya yung kumbaga nagdala ng relationship din namin. Talagang sa kanya ako nakarely. Without her talaga parang mabubuhay ako pero hindi ganito kabuo. Yun yung mga miss ko talaga sa kanya. Mahal ko siya sa the way na kahit sa anong part ng body niya, kahit anong pa man siya, talagang walang kapalit po. Basta hindi kita makakalimutan at mahal na mahal kita.
Sana'y kapulutan ng aral ang nangyari kay Shirel. Para sa reaksyon sa istoryang ito, tweet na gamit ang hashtag KMJS15.
Thank you so much mga kapuso. Kung nagustuhan niyo po ang videong ito,
Power ahead.
A young boy who idolized the creepypasta character, Jeff the Killer, wanted to be like him someday. Eventually, he incorporated Jeff into being a core component of his identity, and in turn, he acted out his fantasies in a similar manner. Creepypasta stories may be nothing more than a laughable internet cliche at this point, but 10 years ago they were pretty big. Plenty of teens and children got a pretty good spook out of them. Today's case, though, transcends mere interest and moves into the more obsessive territory. Donovan A. Nicholas was a young boy when his father, Shane, decided it was time to find a new woman. The two had been living together out in a small home far out in the country in Urbana, Ohio for a while now. Donovan was told that he was going to have a new mother figure in his life, a woman named Heidi Faye Taylor. Heidi was in her 20s when she met Donovan. By now, she already had 2 kids of her own, Todd and Alyssa. In the beginning, the family got along very well. Todd especially had a lot of fun with Donovan.
It was fun. Me, Donovan, we'd go ride in the woods and just do stupid teenage things, and it was never a dull moment.
Heidi's friend Angie said that the kids were great. Usually.
Heidi was a little ornery thing. She was no bigger than a minute. She pushed her children for excellence. And Alyssa was always very smart academically. And so was Donovan. I mean, he did great in school up until the last year or so.
By 2016, Heidi's 2 kids had gotten older and moved out of the house. This left the now 13-year-old Donovan as the only kid left in the home with his father and the woman he called his mom. Donovan, a student at Graham Middle School, had been a fairly normal kid up until this point. However, he slowly began to change. He started acting out, talking back, and behaving badly in general. It's probably just puberty, his family thought. They didn't realize how bad things had truly gotten.
Is that Donovan was a catered child. As in, he got just about everything he wanted. And he did not like to be told no. And I think that he got a burst of real anger in puberty. Our emotions are heightened. And I think he just got mad because he wasn't getting his own way.
Donovan was pretty active in the creepypasta scene online back in 2017. At 14 years old, he was particularly interested in a character called Jeff the Killer. At this point, I'm sure most of you out there at least know the gist of what this character is about, and I have no doubt you've seen his face, but I'll explain a little about him just in case. In the original story, Jeff was an angsty teenager who was often bullied. Ultimately, the bullies set him on fire and he was left disfigured. His mother caught him carving a smile into his face with a knife as he said he no longer had the energy to do so himself. He then burned off his own eyelids so he would always see his own face. Then he murdered his mother and went on a killing spree, dubbing himself Jeff the Killer. Nowadays, Jeff the Killer is often regarded as one of the worst-written creepypastas of all time. It's basically an angsty, teenage, power/revenge fantasy, and it's not very subtle at all. Regardless, the story is nevertheless iconic, more so the image associated with it. Donovan, while talking with his friends, expressed an interest in being Jeff the Killer himself. In some text, his friend would joke about becoming a mass murderer and how he would go about it. Donovan, mainly listening, only chimed in with, "I would be Jeff the Killer." He had come to romanticize the idea of being some sort of spurned, anti-hero type killer character. Donovan had gotten a girlfriend at his young age, albeit online. The two had been talking for quite some time. Being hormonal teenagers, the talks often got spicy. However, things crossed the line when the two started sending nudes to each other. Heidi herself ended up coming across this on Donovan's phone. She was appalled, to say the least. Having this kind of material on his phone, consensual or not, was highly illegal after all. Heidi took Donovan's phone away and forbid him from talking to this girl. She told him that she would be informing his father, Shane, when he got home. Donovan was infuriated. She had just taken his girlfriend away from him, he thought. In addition, he was also humiliated. After all, the woman he called his mom had just seen his horny banter with his long-distance girlfriend and even his nudes. Although things were definitely awkward, Heidi continued about her day as usual. Donovan, however, was doing no such thing. He was plotting revenge, and if he was going to get revenge, he wanted to do it in style like his favorite internet creepypasta character. Donovan put on an all-black outfit from his shirt to his pants to his shoes. He went into the kitchen and grabbed what he called a medium-sized knife. He then went into the bathroom and, using a needle, cut a smile into his cheeks in the same fashion as the iconic photo of Jeff the Killer. He waited down at the bottom of the stairs, hiding just around the corner, waiting for his mom to come down. When she didn't come down on her own, he instead called her name. She came down the stairs without much thought. This was when Donovan grabbed her from behind. He hugged her tightly for a moment before he pulled out his knife. He began his attack, stabbing Heidi 60 times all over her body as she attempted to fight back. The scene erupted into chaos as Donovan swung the knife and Heidi begged for her life. At some point during the attack, Donovan ended up cutting himself on the leg with his knife. As Heidi lay on the ground, begging for her life, asking him to please call 911, Donovan calmly slipped away to get a glass of water. This was when Heidi, somehow in her condition, stood up and ran up the stairs to get her phone. In her weak state, it wasn't difficult for Donovan to outrun her and get there before she did. He pulled his father's 9mm handgun from the nightstand. He struggled to load it, taking a few tries to succeed. When he did, he aimed it at Heidi and shot her once in the head. Donovan sat for a moment before grabbing the phone and heading back downstairs to the kitchen. He called 911 himself, leading to a very bizarre phone call that left the 911 operator fairly confused. Immediately, he confessed to killing his mother, before quickly changing his story and blaming it all on Jeff.
I just killed my mother. And
what happened, sir?
I just killed my mother, and I need to go to the hospital.
And what happened?
It wasn't me who killed her. It was Jeff.
Likely realizing that the operator was confused at his admission of guilt and sudden recantation, he attempted to elaborate on the situation.
What happened? Who did it?
Jeff. Yeah. I'm sorry, this is becoming really hard to explain, but I kind of have another person inside me. Like.
Okay, are you okay?
No, I stabbed myself.
You stabbed yourself?
Yes.
What happened to your mom?
He killed her. He snapped.
All right, are you able to say who's with you?
I am by myself. Me and Jeff.
Okay, and what happened to your mom? What did you do?
He stabbed her. Then he shot her.
Donovan realized he needed to explain his backstory a little more clearly, elaborating on how the Jeff character works.
But I swear it wasn't me. It was Jeff. Jeff is inside me.
Jess is inside you?
Yes.
Okay.
He sometimes takes control, and I have no control over him.
The operator asked Donovan why he, or rather Jeff, did this in the first place, causing Donovan to go on telling a rant about how Jeff felt, accusing Heidi of all sorts of things.
Why did you hurt your mom, or why did Jess hurt your mom?
He was always tired of her. She always did drugs, and she told her, like, ignore me. Like, one. She was done.
He did all he could to blame this on Jeff in the end, attempting to get as much sympathy as possible from the operator.
I am so scared. I didn't want to kill her. I hate Jeff so much. He's gonna make me die in prison. He couldn't have taken somebody else. No, it took me to be a stupid person.
The operator still didn't completely understand what he was getting at, so he attempted to explain until the police finally showed up and restrained him.
You said Jeff did it. There's Jeff there. Is he still there with you?
Well, yeah, Yeah, he's always inside me. He always talks to me. Well, here they are.
Donovan?
You okay? Anybody else here? Come on, keep drinking. Hands on your back. Don't move.
After the call ended, the police quickly threw Donovan into cuffs and took him away. They found Heidi dead on the floor with 60 stab wounds and one final gunshot wound to the head. Donovan, all the way, asserted that he was not the one to blame. Heidi's 2 children, who were raised alongside Donovan for much of their lives, were left in disbelief. Shane, as well, was completely dumbfounded as he heard the news. Nobody expected anything even near this level to ever happen in their home. Alyssa described Heidi as being the ideal grandmother to her kids, and also as her own best friend. She told the news media, "For my sanity, I would like to think there is something truly wrong with Donovan for him to do something so horrific." Heidi's son, Todd, was much more skeptical about whether or not Donovan really did have some sort of different personality in his head. More than that, he wrestled with the brutality of the attack himself. The Champaign County Juvenile Court transferred Donovan's case to an adult court at the suggestion of a prosecutor. By Ohio law, the court is allowed to transfer a child to an adult court if they are both at least 14 years old and there is no expectation that the child can be rehabilitated. This applies in cases such as these, instances of extreme violence. They're even more likely to be transferred if they are deemed to be a danger to the public. In 2018, Donovan, now 16 years old, was all set to go on trial for the murder of the woman he called Mom. While on trial in Champaign County Common Pleas Court, he continued to adamantly claim that Jeff the killer, not him, was completely responsible for the murder. He even attempted to plead not guilty by reason of insanity, but the court found him mentally competent to stand trial. The Champaign County prosecutor, Kevin Tellaby, completely disputed Donovan's claims of having an alternate personality, saying it was merely an excuse for his vicious crime. Psychologists did indeed find Donovan to be legally sane. While Donovan's lawyer, Timothy Hackett, claimed that he suffered from dissociative identity disorder, some psychologists did not agree. It seemed to them that Donovan's idea of DID was mainly based on horror movies. Rather than showing actual symptoms of the disorder, he more or less acted the part as it would appear on TV. Donovan's lawyer noted that some psychologists did state that he struggled with depression and self-harm, possibly giving credence to his claims of more severe mental illness. Before there was any official diagnosis, the lawyer stated, "It's got feathers, it flies. You don't really have to identify the bird to know that it's a bird."
I think it was abundantly clear that, one, he was severely mentally ill, and two, that illness was consistent with dissociative identity disorder.
The court ordered a doctor named Daniel Hrinko to conduct an evaluation of Donovan's mental state. The doctor concluded that he would be perfectly fine to receive treatment within the juvenile system, saying that it would be incredibly rare for someone at his age to have dissociative identity disorder, noting that those with the disorder rarely show violence, especially at this level, as a symptom. He also acknowledged that Donovan posed a significant risk to the community based on what he had done, noting that he himself expressed that the Jeff character had ongoing violent impulses and wanted to kill more people than just Heidi. In the end, Dr. Hrinko did diagnose Donovan with DID regardless, but he noted that he believed he could be rehabilitated, saying that the decision to deem him as beyond rehabilitation was based on unsupported findings. Donovan's lawyer would have preferred that Donovan be given some sort of mental health treatment rather than end up in jail, saying, "There is an important societal issue as to what age do we give up on children for their rehabilitation prospects and what age do we not." The jury didn't even deliberate for a full 3 hours before finding Donovan guilty of the murder. Just a few days after his 16th birthday, he was convicted as an adult of aggravated murder. He was sentenced to life in prison, only being eligible for parole after 28 years. It was explained that 3 years had been tacked on to the sentence for a specific firearm violation in relation to the case. Nicholas was given a short opportunity to speak during his sentencing, during which he apologized and explained that there was neither a reason or an excuse for what he had done. He said, "I do not care about myself as I do for my family. I do not care how long I am locked up for. The only thing that I want is what's best for my family." As he apologized again and again, he expressed his intent to receive mental health treatment, still insisting that Jeff the killer lived in his mind. According to his family, this was all in line with what he had been saying during visitation. Heidi's son, Todd, recalled these meetings, saying, "How do you know it's sincere, though? Anybody can say sorry." Despite the apologies, Donovan and his lawyer expressed their intentions to appeal the case, causing it to continue over into the next year. Over the next few years, the debate over whether Donovan's case should have been transferred to an adult court or not became a huge problem. It came to the point where a vote was going to be held to see whether or not they should overturn the decision. 3 judges voted against reversing the decision, saying that they didn't abuse their power when transferring Donovan to an adult court. 4 other judges, however, voted to reverse the decision. It was said Donovan was a juvenile after all. They based this decision on the psychologist's findings that Donovan was indeed capable of rehabilitation. In 2020, Donovan worked harder to appeal his conviction. His attorneys used this reversal to their advantage, saying that it was never proven that he couldn't be treated in the juvenile court system. His lawyer, Timothy Hackett, said, "He was wearing a glow-in-the-dark dragon t-shirt on the day of the offense in this case. This was a child by any measure. Instead of receiving age-specific treatment for serious, severe mental health issues, he is now at Ross Correctional." Fast forward to 2022. Donovan is now 20 years old, sitting in jail, awaiting to see whether or not his appeal succeeds or he ends up rotting away in jail for the rest of his life. He was told that his case would be going back to the Champaign County's juvenile court. This was very good news for his case. On June 16th, Donovan entered a plea with the Champaign County Juvenile Court Judge, Brett Gilbert. He pleaded guilty to aggravated murder with a serious youth offender specification. As a result, the gun charges were dropped. Donovan told the judge that he had never attempted to seek mental health care as a kid because he feared he would get in trouble if he confided in anyone. He said, "When I was 14, I was not in my right mind. I believed I was truly alone. I realized looking back I was so wrong. I had the most loving family. It was my fault for not believing them. My mind started breaking down. I felt so broken. I want to properly apologize to my family. I realize now how much they loved me. I was wrapped up in my own self-pity. All my fears and doubts went away after therapy. When I found God, I opened up as a person. I have learned to trust people. I can't express how different I am today. I hope I can do what I can to ease my family's pain." Donovan then expressed an interest to have his own family one day, a statement that shook the prosecution. The assistant prosecutor reminded the judge that this murder was, in her own words, heinous. 2 members of Heidi's family appeared at the hearing, remaining completely silent. They provided a written statement read by the prosecution, stating that they didn't agree with the court's decision, saying that they still continue to suffer.
I don't see how a person can come back from that and be a good person. So, if he does and he gets a little piece of paper saying he's rehabilitated or however that works, as far as I'm concerned, it's just stuff to start a fire. It means nothing to me.
The judge spoke to the victim's family directly, lamenting that there was only so much the juvenile court could do now that Donovan was about to turn 21. At that point, they couldn't give him any sort of sentence. Since he wasn't given this retrial until this late, it effectively resulted in a loophole where no court could actually prosecute him anymore. He told the family, "I am sorry for the court process. I can't bring Heidi back. This is the most violent, horrific offense I've ever seen." Speaking to Donovan, he said, "You get to live. She doesn't get to do that. That's something you'll have to live with every day." A plea to adjust the sentence was accepted. Now the juvenile court was all set to sentence Donovan for his crime. After hearing statements from both Donovan's lawyer and the prosecution, the judge imposed a suspended sentence of 25 years to life. This meant that if Donovan violated any terms of his plea agreement, he would be serving that sentence. But he was free. After being pushed from court to court for years, entering all sorts of legal shenanigans and loopholes, and being utterly confused about his future, he was ready to walk free again.
You think you're going to get justice for your family and your mom, and then guess who gets to walk away?
I feel that it is a misjustice. I'm appalled.
The court was only going to be able to give Donovan so much help when it came to transitioning back into normal society. They could only do so up until his 21st birthday, and it was quickly coming up. The prosecution was very concerned that Donovan may kill again, as moving forward there was no way to guarantee he would continue seeking mental help. Donovan was taken from the youth correctional facility he was housed in and sent to the Department of Youth Services in order to give him at least a small bit of transition before his 21st birthday. They hoped that he would at least nail the fundamentals of being a functioning member of society by then. On July 9th, Donovan turned 21 years old. The juvenile court no longer had any sort of jurisdiction over him. He was completely free. Legally, nothing was holding him back any longer. He has absolutely no restrictions on his life or his freedom. Donovan's father, Shane, came to pick him up from the youth facility. Heidi's son, Todd, was riding along in the passenger seat. Donovan hopped into the back seat. The ride in the car was long, quiet, and awkward. Todd glanced back at Donovan in the rearview mirror, seeing the man who murdered his mother sitting there, free and blissful. Todd had no idea what to say to him, but eventually he spoke his mind.
He was in the back with a box of his stuff from prison. It was very quiet. He didn't say a word. I looked at him in my rearview mirror, and I was like, if I hear your name in any negative way, I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen, because I don't exactly know, but just know I don't want to hear your name, unless it's for getting Citizen of the Year. He told me he understood. He assured me that he's going to keep going to counseling. He's going to keep seeing doctors and stuff and slowly try to get his life together. And he says he hopes one day that we can put this behind us. And then he started crying. I was like, it'll never happen. It's like, I'm sorry. As much as I love you and as much as I care about you, it's never going to happen.
Shane and Donovan have declined any sort of interview ever since. As of the writing of this story, they have only spoken out once, stating that Donovan continues to get mental health care. Once again, thank you for watching my video. If you found it interesting, please give it a like. It really helps me out in the algorithm, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. If you want to support the channel even further, I do have a Patreon account, which I always keep linked down in the description below, where you can see videos early, ad-free, and uncensored. As of a few weeks ago, channel memberships are back up, and you can get the same benefits on there as well. This has been your host, Kyle. Thank you, and good night. One of the most common suggestions to make a video about, and one of the most common questions on Q&As that I get, is what is the most horrific case I've ever heard of? It's a case that I'm sure a lot of you have heard of by now, but I'm not sure if you've ever heard about it in complete, gruesome detail. This is the story of Junko Furuta, widely considered to be one of the worst crimes ever committed in human history. So for the love of God, please don't watch this if you're sensitive to extreme violence, especially of the sexual variety. Trust me. Junko Furuta was a young woman who was born in Misato in the Saitama Prefecture of Japan. Her family consisted of a mother, father, an older brother, and a younger brother. She attended high school at a school in Saitama while working part-time at a plastic molding factory after school. She was saving up for a big graduation trip she was planning. She was all set up to start working at an electronics store after she graduated. She was fairly popular and well-liked by her classmates. She had great grades and was hardly ever absent. She was active, attractive, and attracted a lot of attention, which made some people jealous. She didn't drink, didn't smoke, and definitely never touched any drugs. This made her seem very lame in the eyes of the thugs around the school, the Yakuza wannabes. One of the boys in this group was named Hiroshi Miyano. He actually developed a bit of a crush on her and wanted to get physical with her. He proposed this, and she refused. Hiroshi was a pretty big bully in this school, one of the only ones actually involved with the younger members of the Yakuza at the time. Usually, nobody dared defy him. He couldn't believe that Junko actually had the gall to turn him down. Hiroshi did not take this well at all. He couldn't believe that anyone would ever reject him. He took it as a complete and total insult. He got together with a few of his wannabe Yakuza buddies and they all hatched a plan to get revenge on Junko. They would get another one of their friends to attack Junko, and then Hiroshi would come to the rescue. After he won a bit of her trust, they could take her wherever they wanted. On November 25th of 1988, Junko was riding her bike home from her part-time job when an unknown boy attacked her and knocked her off of her bike. The boy who liked her, Hiroshi Miyano, was conveniently across the street while the whole thing happened. He came to Junko's aid and scared off the random boy. He then offered to escort her home. Everything seemed to be going as planned. While Junko didn't actually trust him, it seemed better than the alternative of possibly being attacked again. She didn't have any idea that Hiroshi harbored any sort of hatred towards her. She wouldn't have imagined that he would be planning anything like this. Hiroshi took Junko into an abandoned warehouse and revealed his Yakuza connections to her. He then took his time raping her over and over. Then he took her to a hotel. In the hotel, he called his friends, Joe Ogura and Yasushi Watanabe. From then on, he and his 3 friends took turns assaulting her. Unfortunately, this was not their first time doing this, as they had just recently done it to another girl in the past few weeks. They decided that they were having far too much fun to just set her free again. There was also the possibility that she would call the cops and tell them what happened, and they couldn't have that. The next morning, Hiroshi took Junko to a nearby park, where Joe, Yasushi, and a 4th boy, Nobuharu Minato, were waiting. They learned Junko's address and used it to threaten her, telling her that they would kill her entire family if she tried to get away. The 4 teenage boys then took her back to Minato's parents' home where they continued to assault her. This is where, for 42 more days, she would be held prisoner. On the 3rd day that Junko was missing, her parents were dealing with the police, trying to get her found. Knowing this would happen, the captors made her call her parents and tell them that she had run away and was staying with a friend, safe and sound. She was forced to ask her mom to stop the investigation. They held Junko captive in the bedroom, forcing her to pose as one of the boys' girlfriend. It didn't take long for the parents to realize that this was a lie. Eventually, they dropped the whole girlfriend act altogether, as it was very clear that they weren't going to get in any trouble. Immediately after arriving at the home, the boys forced Junko into becoming their toy. They beat her relentlessly and raped her countless times a day, often taking turns. They were proud of what they were doing, regularly boasting to their friends that they had a woman trapped and ready for their personal use. They invited a load of their friends to come over and have their way with her. In the first few days, at least 30 of them raped her, and at least 100 knew of her imprisonment. Even women were invited to come see the spectacle, with a young girl even being invited to come over and see the prisoner, who then took a pen and doodled on her face. By the day 7 mark, Junko had been already completely stripped of all of her humanity. She was forced to be naked at all times and was constantly beaten and humiliated. They would shove her into the freezer for hours when they were bored with her, only pulling her out when they wanted to assault her again. Nobuharu Minato's brother and parents were living in the same house that she was being held in. His brother did nothing, aside from informing him that Junko might die at this rate. His parents were afraid to intervene as they had seen Nobuharu's violent nature firsthand. They also knew of his association with the Yakuza and feared of their possible retaliation. And most disgustingly, they worried about losing their good reputation in the community. After about 10 days of this torture, Junko's body was already starting to fail her. Because of the ongoing, endless beatings, so much blood had accumulated in her sinuses that she could no longer breathe through her nose. Her digestive system was also beginning to refuse food and water. If she attempted to eat or drink anything, she would instantly vomit. This also led to severe dehydration. Anytime she would vomit, her attackers would get angry and beat her even further. A vicious cycle that had no end in sight. When the nights got even colder, she was forced to sleep on the balcony of the home in extreme cold temperatures, sometimes near or below freezing. Eventually, one of the men that the attackers would invite over to the house to see Junko would go on to tell someone else about her, his brother. This brother of his ended up informing the police about what was going on at the Minato house. 2 officers were soon dispatched to go check things out. Minato's parents came to the door. When the police explained the situation, the parents simply responded that there was no girl in the house. The police took it at face value, thanked them, and left, without ever bothering to check even a single detail. After 20 days of torture, Junko was rendered completely unable to walk. She had had lighter fluid poured on her legs and set on fire, leaving her with severe burns. Her legs had also been targeted so severely during the beatings that they were left with severe muscle damage. She was unable to grip anything with her hands anymore, as they had been smashed with dumbbells to the point where her bones were crushed and her fingernails were shattered. Some nights later, the attackers got more rowdy than usual and ended up drinking too much. Junko took this as a chance to try to escape. She crawled down the stairs from the bedroom and reached the phone downstairs. She picked up the phone and began to call the police. The phone rang, and an officer picked up. Just as she was about to speak, Hiroshi came up behind her and grabbed the phone from her hands. He put the receiver to his ear and said, "I dialed by mistake," hanging up the phone. She was then pulled back into the bedroom. She was in complete terror, as she would obviously be severely punished for this. And she was correct. They punished her by holding her down and taunting her by waving a candle's flame all around her. Then they covered her entire body, mainly her legs, in lighter fluid and set her on fire once more. Afterwards, she started convulsing. The boys told everyone that she was faking it and set her on fire once again, only to put it out shortly after. Somehow, she survived. From this point on, she began begging her captors to just kill her and be done with it. They wouldn't grant her that favor. After being set on fire, they discovered a new way to torture her. The boys would hold her head against the concrete while the others would jump on it. One can only imagine what kind of pain and damage this would have caused. After about 30 days, Junko was no longer able to urinate properly. She had suffered severe damage to her genitals after they had been burned with cigarette lighters. She also had various foreign objects inserted into her, many sharp and jagged. Even fireworks had been inserted into her. The fireworks were not limited to only one orifice, as they were also inserted into her anus, mouth, and ears as well. She was left with eardrum damage so severe that she was nearly deaf at this point. Her hands and feet were so damaged that she could hardly move. At best, she could crawl. It took her over an hour to crawl to the bathroom. A later report showed that her brain size was greatly reduced by this point in time. Due to her hellish appearance, the boys no longer found her attractive. They used the same strategy again to abduct and gang rape another 19-year-old woman while she was on her way home from work. During these 44 days of hell, Junko Furuta was forced to withstand the most unspeakable torture and suffering that a person can imagine. Some of what was done to her includes being raped many times every single day, day and night, in all orifices. More than 100 men are believed to have raped her by the end. Sometimes she was raped by up to 12 different attackers in a single day. Constant humiliation. She was forced to be left naked most of the time. Many of the men who raped her also urinated on her. She was forced to pleasure herself in front of the attackers for their entertainment. She was beaten physically every day. She was beaten with golf clubs, iron rods, bamboo sticks, and various other objects. She had dumbbells dropped all over her body and her head stomped against the ground, face first. She had hot wax poured all over her face with a focus on her eyelids. Her eyelids were also burned with cigarettes and cigarette lighters. She was violated with a long list of various objects shoved into all orifices, including but not limited to bottles, both broken and unbroken, iron bars, scissors, roasting needles, chicken skewers, and more. She was given only the strict bare minimum of food and water. At times, she was forced to eat cockroaches and drink urine. She had fireworks put into all of her orifices, leaving damage and severe burns. She had her left nipple ripped off by a pair of pliers. She would be tied up flat on the floor and had dumbbells dropped all over her body. The drops on her abdomen were so hard that it caused her to lose all control of her bowels. She was hung from the ceiling and used as a punching bag. She was shoved into a freezer and kept there for hours at a time. Her eyelids were burned with hot wax and lighters when she closed her eyes in fear. Her breasts were stabbed with sewing needles, the needles often being left inside. Her genitals were burned with cigarettes and lighters. She had a hot, lit light bulb inserted into her vagina and moved around until it shattered. By the end, she looked like a completely different person after all of the damage. It was hard to even make out her facial features. Her body was severely damaged and crippled, and she smelled as if she were already rotting. She was continuously heavily bleeding from her genitals from all of the abuse. She wheezed heavily, struggling to breathe from all of the blood accumulated in her sinuses. On day 40, January 1st, Junko woke up to New Year's Day alone. She spent the day begging to be killed, completely unable to move. 3 days later, on the fateful day of the 4th of January, the boys challenged Junko to a game of Mahjong Solitaire and forced her to play. Somehow, even in her condition, she won the game. This infuriated her captors, who treated her to a severe beating with an iron barbell, and then poured lighter fluid all over her arms, her legs, her stomach, and finally her face, dumping lighter fluid even into her eyes. Then they put a candle to her face, igniting it all. She weakly attempted to put out the flames, but didn't have the strength to do so. This final torture lasted for a grueling 2 hours altogether. Already having been in a horrible condition, Junko went into shock and finally died the following day. Minato's brother called him within 24 hours to inform him that Junko had died. The boys all rushed over to the house in a panic. Fearing what would certainly be a life sentence, or even a death sentence, the boys started to freak out. But they came up with a plan. The captors then put her body into a 55-gallon oil drum and filled it to the brim with concrete. A small bit of Junko's long hair was poking out the top of the concrete, something they apparently didn't notice. They disposed of the barrel at a construction site in Koto, Tokyo. Seeing that place now, you'd never imagine something like this was buried there. There was originally a good chance that the police would never find out who did this. There weren't any clues to go on. Luckily, Hiroshi is a moron. While he was being questioned by the police 2 weeks later involving their recent gang rape of the unrelated 19-year-old woman, he got confused and thought the police were talking about Junko, as the cases were so similar. And thinking that one of the other boys must have already confessed, he spilled the beans. He realized his mistake, but it was already too late, and he told the police where they had hid the body. Joe Ogura had already been arrested for another unrelated sexual assault case. He was quickly also arrested for Junko's case as well. The other boys were then arrested within the next few days. Later, the drum was finally opened and the concrete was broke open, revealing Junko's long-deceased body in a nightmare-inducing, horrific condition. Junko's family was notified and told of what happened to her in detail. When her mother heard the details of what was done to her, she fainted. She ended up in a long-term stay in a psychiatric hospital. An autopsy was performed on Junko, revealing the true horror of what had happened to her. Small bottles were found still stuck in her rectal cavity, and it was revealed that she was pregnant, although the damage to her uterus was severe. Her face was so completely mutilated that she had to be identified by her fingerprints. Being that they were juveniles, the court withheld the names of the 4 captors. But journalists from Shukan Bunshin magazine were able to find out exactly who they were and published the names of all of them, stating that they were inhuman and therefore didn't deserve human rights. Nobody really contested this. As we know, they were Hiroshi Miyano, 18 at the time, Joe Ogura, also 18 at the time, Nobuharu Minato, who was 16 at the time, and Yasushi Watanabe, who was 17. All 4 of these monsters were caught and sent to trial. During each trial, it was pretty common for onlookers to pass out upon hearing the details of the case. Even with all that they had done, they didn't really show any semblance of remorse. And despite all of this, they received extremely light sentences for such horrific crimes. They were actually still being tried as juveniles, but after much backlash, they were changed to adult status. Still, after being upgraded to adult status, they received unbelievably light sentences. Something that, to this day, continues to enrage people who hear about this case. The boys, somehow, were not charged with murder. Instead, they received a charge called causing bodily injury resulting in death. In Japan, the juvenile court system is far more focused on rehabilitation rather than punishment. Something that you'll remember if you saw my Yukio Yamaji video. Usually this means that juveniles will end up getting relatively very low sentences. Hiroshi was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Minato got a 5 to 7 year sentence himself. Watanabe got 9 years, and Joe got an 8-year sentence. One sad thing is that these monsters actually received even lower sentences than that at first. They were only increased to the still low amount after an appeal. It was so low that some people even questioned if their Yakuza ties were to blame for this. By the time of this recording, every single one of the 4 boys is out of jail and living free. 3 of them were in jail for less than 8 years. Hiroshi, the ringleader, was sentenced to 17 years originally. He tried to appeal, but as kind of a fuck you, the judge actually upped his case to 20 years. The same thing happened to 2 of the other boys, and after seeing enough, the 4th boy decided not to try to appeal. However, they all ended up getting out long before those sentences were actually up. And I bet you're wondering if they continued to commit crimes after they got out of jail. Well, let's see. After Nobuhara Minato got out of jail, he changed his first name to Shinji. He did this for obvious reasons. In 2006, he got married to a woman from Romania and had a daughter together. They soon divorced, and the wife ended up with custody of the child. Minato couldn't stay away from murder for too long. He was eventually arrested again for the attempted murder of a businessman. The man had noticed Minato staring at him, to which he asked, "What are you looking at?" Minato came over and punched the man. The man then got out of his car and a fight ensued. It escalated to the point that Minato took out a baton and beat him severely. As the victim tried to get back into his car, Minato slashed his neck with a knife he had hidden. The police were called at some point and they rushed to aid the victim. In the chaos, Minato escaped. He was soon caught and arrested. He denied attempted murder, saying he only intended to beat the man. The case is ongoing. Joe Ogura was released in August of 1999. He also ended up changing his name to Joe Kamisaku. He actually had the gall to brag about his role in the kidnap and torture. His father had vowed to give their entire life savings to Junko's family out of shame. But Joe ended up taking this money and using it for himself to live a fairly extravagant lifestyle. Joe's mother wasn't much better, as she actually vandalized Junko's grave, saying that it was Junko who ruined her son's life. Joe actually managed to find some women to date him. He ended up marrying a Chinese woman, but the marriage didn't last too long. Afterwards, he started dating another woman. He went back to prison in July 2004 for 7 years for beating a guy he thought was luring his girlfriend away from him. He had kidnapped and beaten the man for 4 hours. He proudly told the victim that he had killed before and would do it again. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison. But in 2009, he was once again free, and he is still free to this day. The ringleader, Hiroshi Miyano, went right back into his previous gang activity immediately after being released from prison. He was arrested for fraud at some point after this, but didn't see jail time for it. Right now, it seems that he's living a fairly normal life. Some might even say a good life. He is a regular patron at a local kickboxing gym and appears to have a normal social life. As of now, Yasushi Watanabe is the only one of the 4 boys who hasn't been arrested since. Because of that, it's not really known what he's been up to. Since the investigation first started, the police have been able to get DNA from the sperm and pubic hairs found in evidence to link several more criminals to the crime, including 2 men named Koichi Ihara and Tetsuo Nakamura, both of whom were arrested, and there are probably many others who have not been revealed to the public. It is unknown if they will all face any sort of charges. Time will tell. So there it is, the worst case I've ever heard of. I get this question a lot, and it's just always this one. There are a couple of others that come kinda close, but it's really hard to top something like this. I mean, you've got the brutality, the length, the scale. I mean, So asking if you like this video seems a little bit fucked up. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It helps me out. Although I doubt this video is going to really be pushed, but nah. If you like dark content like this, be sure to subscribe. I do a lot of it. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, I do have a Patreon page that's linked in the description. Speaking of which, shout out to my top patrons. David McLaughlin, Marsh, Buffazerk,
Stay cool with Nivea Men Cool Kit, now in sachet. It gives 10 times deo benefits for an active you. Try it now.
Ang init! Ako bahala sa inyo!
Creamy New York cheesecake. Grab yours now.
Horror is the most deeply personal genre by its very definition.
How did David Blaine bite this quarter in half? Well, if you thought it had something to do with the actual quarter, you'd be right. Some people think he swaps the coin out in the middle of the trick, and others think it has something to do with the metal. But he actually uses a gimmick coin to perform this trick. It's made up of 2 parts, held together by an elastic band. And once you see how it works, this trick becomes a little less impressive. How did David Blaine bite this quarter in half? Well, if you thought it had something to do with the
While most genres such as fantasy, sci-fi, and romance are all defined by elements within the world such as fantasy, sci-fi, and romance are all defined by elements within the world of the story, horror is defined by the raw emotion within the viewer. Perhaps the most similar genre in this regard is, oddly enough, comedy. However, while your sense of humor tends to grow with more exposure to comedy, your sense of horror seems to go in the opposite direction. As you experience more horror, things which used to keep you up at night become comfortable. In some ways, this is a natural part of growing up. As you get older, the divide between fact and fiction grows, and the monsters of your childhood are revealed for what they truly are, reflections of your own lack of understanding. As we get older, we recognize that there really aren't monsters hiding in the closet, under the bed, or in the attic. But there's something more that happens in the case of horror enthusiasts. Something I've experienced quite personally, and that I think many of you will be able to relate to. So here, having made many new Halloween memories, I'm feeling retrospective. I want to briefly delve into the fears of the past so that we might learn more about the horrors of the present. It was Halloween 2011. I had dressed up as the main character from my favorite game at the time, Bastion. It was the most excited I'd been about Halloween in a while, because that year I was going trick-or-treating with a couple of my best friends. But I wasn't excited about candy or going door to door. No, I was excited because I heard that someone in the neighborhood was putting on a haunted house. That sort of thing rarely happens out in the boonies where I'm from, so it was a big deal for 12-year-old Crow. The sun took its sweet time crawling across the orange October sky, but when it finally dipped below the horizon, my friends and I raced across an unfamiliar neighborhood. I never wanted to forget the experience, so I even brought a video camera with me. I planned to record it all, every scare, every monster, every scream, immortalized in crystal clear 480p. The three of us rounded the corner, and I might have gotten about 20 feet from the entrance before the excitement in my body catalyzed and transformed into pure dread. I was frozen, not by the cool night's breeze through the dark valley, but by my own terror. What had I gotten myself into? And, more importantly, how could I get out of it? I couldn't. In the end, my friends basically had to drag me into the house. What's worse, I somehow ended up at the front of the group. As I was ushered into a dark garage, I squeezed my eyes shut, hit record on my camcorder, and allowed myself to be pushed forward by the group. At one point, I dared to take a glance to my left and saw a table covered in latex heads roughly hacked off at the neck. My eyes snapped shut and stayed that way until I stumbled back blindly into the chill of the neighborhood. I was out of the house, but that feeling I experienced, it was so strange. It was a sick, sticky kind of feeling in the pit of my stomach. The sort of feeling that keeps you up at night, tossing and turning for hours, always certain that your next turn will bring you face to face with the object of your terror. It was fear. An awful feeling, to be sure, but I wanted more. Horror had its hooks in me, even if I didn't dare set foot in another haunted house again. Fear followed me from then on. In high school, I was up late one night chatting with a few strangers in an online chat room. Everything was going fine, but midnight struck, the conversation took a turn, and I saw it. I was such a coward in high school that even a simple image like this could throw me off my whole night. 4 hours later, I finally managed to fall asleep in a very brightly lit room. Still, there was that feeling again. The drive to find more. Fear became a friend I could rely on in my teenage years when I started to read and listen to creepypastas. I particularly remember The Rake being a story that kept me up at night. Ben Drowned was another one. Even more than the stories, however, the images associated with them clung to me. They became the faces that I envisioned watching me from the foot of my bed. The classic Jeff the Killer image stuck with me for a long time, even if the story didn't. I started to realize just how much fun there was to be had in horror. I read all that I could, and even wrote a few stories of my own. However, as I got deeper and deeper into the genre, I started to sleep better some nights. And then, every night. It seemed like the more I fed my hunger for horror, the more starved I became. That sick, sticky feeling started to abandon me. Those faces lost their home at the foot of my bed. There was no monster in my closet. And I wasn't afraid. There were still things I enjoyed about horror, of course, but the sting was gone. Monsters ceased to be scary. Not really, anyway. Even when I would watch a movie and think to myself, man, what a scary monster. I really meant something like, that monster is well designed, or wow, this really breaks the mold. Ito's works solidify him as one of the greatest horror authors to have ever lived, and certainly mine. His work, in my mind, is everything that horror should be. Every story is a twist on the realm of the experience. His work is ambiguous and only tells you just enough to make the story scary. Importantly, it's varied. Reading The Long Dream feels totally different from reading splatter film The Hanging Room. three are disturbing in their own way. Diving into Ito's catalog kind of felt like exploration of some untouched sphere of the human mind, and I loved it. I loved it so much that I had to know why I loved it. The world of cosmic horror opened up to me, and I began to analyze the indiscernible, to understand the unthinkable, and to know the unknowable. And that, my friends, was where I hit a wall. Horror is something that I love, so I study it, I try to get as much of it, and I try to figure out what makes some horror work and some horror fall flat. And I know I'm not the only one who does this. There's plenty of discourse online right now surrounding internet and analog horror, and a common sentiment these days is that things have gotten stale. It's not that we're immune to horror. Most horror these days just isn't scary. But what would be scary? I have a sneaking suspicion that next to nothing would fit the bill today. Not for everyone, anyway. No new trend is going to come along and revitalize that old sense of dread within us, because the issue isn't with horror. The issue is with us. Thousands of new viewers find out about analog horror every single day. I know because I hear from you guys in my comments. The horror of today is still giving new viewers and new audiences that same feeling that we used to get. It's just not doing it for us anymore. That's not to say that every piece of horror media is perfect or scary or even good, but what I am saying is that some of us have traded fear for understanding without ever recognizing that such a transaction was taking place. Now, I could sit here and try to explain this to you in detail, but I think it'd be a lot better if I let a more experienced writer than myself explain it to you. Now, when I had mastered the language of this water and come to know every trifling feature that bordered the great river as familiarly as I knew the letters of the alphabet, I had made a valuable acquisition, but I had lost something, too. I had lost something which could never be restored to me as long as I lived. All the grace, the beauty, the poetry had gone out of the majestic river. I still kept in mind a certain wonderful sunset which I witnessed when steamboating was new to me. A broad expanse of the river was turned to blood. In the middle distance, the red hue brightened into gold, through which a solitary log came floating, black and conspicuous. In one place, a long, slanting mark lay sparkling upon the water. In another, the surface was broken by boiling, tumbling rings that were as many-tinted as an opal. Where the ruddy flush was faintest was a smooth spot that was covered with graceful circles and radiating lines ever so delicately traced. The shore on our left was densely wooded, and the somber shadow that fell from this forest was broken in one place by a long, ruffled trail that shone like silver. And high above the forest wall, a clean
kid. This is show business. Show some class when you dress. Shave that bush off your lips. Whoa. Your band's name Queen, huh? Ain't that sweet? You dance like you rode a bicycle race with no seat. That's what's wrong with you people. You'll do anything to get famous. You changed your name to Mercury. You should have been Freddie Uranus.
Think I haven't heard those things before? You're just a bully who's too scared to go to war. Got a hit song called My Way, but someone else wrote it. You're the least talented rat in your whole pack of brothers. In your whole range, you can't act and you can't dance. I'm more powerful than you, and I'm wearing women's pants. Why do you stand there in a suit? It's like you're trying to bowl. When I rap, you can't. Shut the horny. Because my songs have balls. They're the anthems of victory. Your music is like the soundtrack to a century. You're in the pocket of the mafia and everybody knows.
Guinea Dago.
Figaro.
Easy jaws of life. I can't stand the racist. I love the colors and the quiz. Just ask Sammy Davis. Look, we all want to swing, baby, but you took it too far. You played butthole roulette, and you lost the draw.
I took one for both teams from a disease no one knew existed. I didn't leave a mark on history, I French kissed it. I'm a champion of the world, extinguished in its pride. So kiss my ass, Frank, but you have to wait in line. Who won? Who's there? You decide!
Mas enjoy ang snack time pag may snack kakulitan with Royal.
Okay, yung nakakatakot nandito na. Tinasan ako ng breath. Cute, may kamay siya dito sa ano. Si Chagnar Faug. Hindi ko... Chagnar ba? La! Ano yan? Ano? 369. Yak ka na naman? Yes po, nagbabalik naman po tayo dito sa That's Not My Neighbor at ngayon po ay maglalaro ulit tayo ng hardcore mode. Na kung saan ay mas matindi na po mismo kaysa sa first mismong game ng laro na ito. So without further ado, sino natin ito, huwag natin patagalin pa yung laro nito. Kaya natin kung ano mangyayari at ano makikita natin for today at ano yung sa list natin. Okay, yung nakakatakot nandito na. Tinasan ako ng balahibo dun. Ito! Don't trust them. Should you set Google? Wait, ano to? Wait lang, meron akong nakuhang... Wait, may nagbukas dito sa ano ko. Ano to? May nagbukas sa ano ko. Ito nyo? The fuck? Ano to? Eh? Maybe I should keep this just in case lang, no? Yeah, I should probably keep this one. Just in case na biglang, ano, do not trust them. Ano sabihin nun? Okay? Ha? Don't... Wait, what? Hi. Greetings na sa'yo. Asan yan niremas mo? Okay, sa tulis list ka. I'm supposed to know na... Hindi ko alam ano to. Okay, anyway, wait lang. Pause muna tayo. FO3. Okay, tama naman yung ano niya, itsura niya. Yeah, he's still the same. Okay, hindi ko ma-export yung ano niya para naman number. 863-219. Okay, sige. Okay, good, sige. Ano yun? Ano yung nagbigay sa akin ng something? Hindi ko maintindihan. The frick? Huh? What? Yung scar niya! Nakatumingin lang ako, may susabat sa ano niya, ngipin niya. Putek, mali. Mali. Uy, gagi. Ayos ah. May elepante tsaka parang may ano dito. Wala ka sa list today, kuya. Wala ka sa listahan ngayon. And that is because I had to perform an emergency ritual. Oh, nag-practice siya ng ritual. Okay, FO202 daw siya. Sige, subukan natin tawagan to. 7, 3, 3, 2. Baka sakali lang. You never know din. Yeah, so siya nga to. Tama naman yung logo niya. At may kamay siya dito sa ano. Visit. Okay, big smile, big nose, hands on the chin, and pointy head. 456-325. Okay, 456-326 pala, sorry. 263. Wait, mali ating number niya. 456352. 456352. 325 dito. Kita nyo, 52 dito. 325. You're a freaking doppelganger, dude. Doppelganger on the spot. I'm glad na tinitignan ko yung numero kaya sabihin natin wala nang problema sa ibang bagay. Like, kasi yung isang switch na number na yun, yari ka na kagad pa nagkataon eh. Buti na lang. Yes po, thank you po. Grabe ka. Oh, ito natin totoo ko sakali. Sakali. Ay, baka siya na yun. FO202, tawang DDD niya. Ayan, 356 na to. Ito, 356. Okay. Wait, what? 456325. 456325. 638. 638-947. Yun, ito yung tama. Ito naman natin yung buong appearance just in case may something na naman dito. Zot Omog. Okay, good. Sige. Go right in, Masay. Alam mo ba, muntik na mamatay dahil meron kang doppelganger na isa na yung palit yung numero? Nako, ko na yan. Sino ka naman ngayon? Ha? Kakapasok ko lang ng totoo. Ang dami nyo, tatlo na kayo on the row. Thank you po. Yes po, ako nang bahala. Yes po. Labas na ako namatay dito. Hindi ako pwede mapatay ulit. Hi! Greetings din sa'yo. Si Chagnar Faug. Chagnar ba? Chagnar ako. FO201 siya. So isa siyang occult ritual. Occult ritual. Oculus nga. Occult. As a trunk, 1 tattoo, 2 tusks, and big ears. Paano yung ears niya? Kababa? Nakataas? Nakataas, okay. Okay, tawag ako nga na saglit. 5123. Baka sakali. You never know dun eh. Hi po! Dito po ba? Diyan po ba yung asawa niyo? Okay po, thank you so much. Last one is yung numero. Baka sakaling niloko na naman ako eh. 989-632-368. Okay, you're good. Can go right in na po kuya. Kupe. Kapal na mukhang mag-ganon-ganon ako yun, no? Mga demonyo naman itong mga inano ko or... Ako ano ba? Ano ba itong mga to? Ay, napo po. Manahimik ka! Oh, shit. La! La! Ano yan? Ano yan? Gagi na naiiwan yung ano. Okay, so naman kaya next natin ngayon? Ay. Last name of a man behind the true face of the mass known the internet use. Last name of the man behind the true face of the mass most known to internet users. Hindi. Di ba yun yung ano? Yung reference ba nito is yung sa Anonymous Mass? Yung dun sa ano? Yung lalaking may... What if... Yung lalaking may... What if... Which number will give you the victory in a contest of writing the largest number with the conventional rules of the Roman numeral? Hindi ko matalong yung sinasabi mo. Teka. Ha? Do we have a do we have a list ng answers dito baka sa anong mangyayari? Wala, I'm kinda curious ano mangyayari pag natamaan na tama natin ito. Wait, search natin yan. Ito. So, sabi rito, ito sabi rito. So, let's paste this. Kaya tama to. O sakali lang. Oh, hindi tama yun? Goodbye. Well, I don't know kung anong ginagawa na. Sorry, sinerch ko lang. Baka sakaling meron tayong way para masagot siya kaso mukhang hindi ata. I mean, na-answer ko yung una. Kape! Umano ka na kanina. Nakita na kita kanina. Labas. Alis. Hey, yo! Hi! Behold. May more. Oh. Behold din sa'yo. Oh, damn. I pa 101. Okay. So, siya daw ay si Jugia. So, puto na pangalan niya. Ang hirap ng basahin ng pangalan niya. 116682, 116821119891. Okay, Nightmare Designer daw. I went out to propose some nightmares. Oh, Nightmare Designer. 24 fingers, many eyes. I went out to propose some nightmares. Oh, Nightmare. Okay, Nightmare Designer daw. I went out to propose some nightmares. Oh, Nightmare Designer. 24 fingers, many eyes, small nose, wear earrings, hands on the head. 369. Okay, 9 eyes yun. Tama naman. 24 fingers. 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 6, 12, 18, 24. Okay, tama lang. Then, siya ay merong small nose and wear earrings daw. Correct? Hands on the head. Okay, I think you're good po. Wait lang,
about the solar eclipse. What? It hurts my eyes. Why are you staring at it? This was it's the sun, Craig. Become Death Destroyer. Look away! I can't. My eyes are glued to it. It's so much better. Close your eyes, man. You're gonna go blind. Close yourself and close your eyes. That's so much better. Craig. Yeah. Your eyes are still open. Oh my God! I can't see anymore. Eclipse isn't even supposed to happen for another 10 minutes. Man, I'm so pumped. Hitting 2 million subscribers on YouTube is. Yo, who made this chicken? It's strong. Damn. Was it you? I'll follow you home. You know that, right? Your family ain't safe. Your family ain't safe. I'm home. Forget all about that chicken thing. No, I can't handle that. We know I ain't like this no more. I ain't doing this. I said I'm not doing this no more. I love this place. Come on. Yo, who made this chicken?
So, okay guys, bye-bye.